If you've been riding long enough, you already know how this ends. Summer comes, prices climb, and guys start saying, "I should have bought it when it was cheaper." What's different right now is timing. There are motorcycles sitting on showroom floors that still haven't caught the seasonal price bump. Dealers are flexible today, not because they want to be, but because demand hasn't fully woken up yet. And once it does, the same bikes you could have bought dirt cheap suddenly get firm pricing. Today's list is for riders who don't buy on emotion. They buy on timing. Stick with me to the end because the last few bikes on this list are the ones riders regret missing once summer hits. Number 7. Moto Guzzi Veef, 7 stone. Some motorcycles earn trust without shouting for attention, and that matters more with age. This machine belongs to that quieter category, built for riders who value feel, balance, and long ownership over trends. It carries itself with restraint, the kind that comes from confidence rather than marketing. Nothing about it tries to impress newcomers. Everything about it speaks to riders who already know what they want from the road. There is an honesty here that feels increasingly rare. The riding position is natural, the proportions are familiar, and the overall experience recalls a time when motorcycles were designed to be ridden daily, not explained endlessly. It does not chase extremes in speed or technology. Instead, it focuses on rhythm, feedback, and mechanical connection. That approach resonates with riders who have logged real miles and learned what actually matters after the novelty fades. This bike fits well into garages already holding touring rigs or older Japanese standards. It offers something different without feeling foreign. Maintenance is straightforward, access is logical, and the overall layout respects the rider's time and patience. The shaft drive alone signals long-term thinking, reducing routine chores and mess. Riders who still turn their own wrenches, that detail speaks volumes. On the road, the experience is calm but engaging. Power delivery is smooth and deliberate, encouraging measured throttle rather than aggressive bursts. It rewards steady hands and relaxed posture, making it ideal for secondary highways and long afternoons that stretch into evening. This is the kind of motorcycle that invites reflection rather than competition, allowing the rider to settle into the ride instead of fighting it. Styling plays a quiet role here. The look nods to heritage without leaning on costume. Clean lines, minimal clutter, and purposeful metal give it a timeless presence. It avoids the excess that dates many modern machines, which helps explain why it appeals to riders who plan to keep a bike for years, not seasons. There is dignity in that restraint, and dignity ages well. Market behavior has worked in favor of patient buyers. This model does not benefit from hype cycles or viral exposure, which keeps it overlooked in many showrooms. That lack of noise has nothing to do with quality. It has everything to do with a market distracted by extremes. Riders paying attention recognize the opportunity in machines that were built for the long haul rather than the spotlight. Horsepower is rated at approximately 64 at the crank. Engine displacement measures 853 cubic centimeters. Torque output reaches 53 pound-feet. Final drive is shaft-driven. Braking is handled by a Brembo front disc and rear disc anti-lock braking system. Front suspension uses a conventional telescopic fork. Rear suspension consists of dual shock absorbers. Wet weight is approximately 481 pounds. Seat height measures 30.3 inches. Fuel capacity is 5.5 gallons. Wheelbase measures 57.8 inches, and manufacturer suggested retail price begins around $8,890 in the United States market. That kind of quiet, long-term thinking didn't stay confined to Europe, because an American badge tried a similar approach with very different results. Number 6. Indian Motorcycle Scout 60. There is a certain kind of motorcycle that never needed to shout to be taken seriously. This one was built with a calm confidence that feels familiar to riders who remember when balance mattered more than bragging rights. It carries American roots without leaning too hard on nostalgia, offering a riding experience that feels practical, grounded, and honest. From the first glance, it presents itself as approachable rather than intimidating, which is exactly why many experienced riders quietly respect it. What stands out most is how manageable everything feels. The proportions are sensible, the reach to the controls feels natural, and the bike never asks the rider to wrestle with unnecessary bulk. It was clearly designed for real roads, real traffic, and real bodies that may not bend the way they did decades ago. That practicality does not remove character. Instead, it enhances it by allowing the rider to focus on the ride rather than the effort. On the road, the power delivery is smooth and predictable, favoring steady acceleration over dramatic surges. That makes it easy to live with, especially for riders who value control and confidence. It pulls cleanly through the mid-range, settles comfortably at highway speeds, and never feels frantic. The chassis remains composed, offering a planted feel that inspires trust rather than adrenaline. This is a motorcycle that encourages long rides without fatigue. Comfort plays a larger role than many expect. The low seat height makes mounting and stopping effortless, while the overall ergonomics reduce strain on knees and hips. The suspension is tuned more for compliance than aggression, absorbing rough pavement without protest. It may not chase sport bike sharpness, but that trade-off favors riders who prioritize comfort and stability over lap times. Styling choices remain restrained and purposeful. The lines are clean, the stance is low, and the visual weight feels evenly distributed. It avoids excessive chrome or unnecessary flourishes, which helps it age gracefully. This restraint appeals to riders who prefer subtlety over spectacle. It looks like a motorcycle meant to be ridden, not displayed. Market conditions have been quiet around this model. It often gets overshadowed by larger cruisers and flashier machines, which keeps attention away. That lack of spotlight has little to do with capability. It reflects a market that sometimes forgets the value of moderation. Riders paying attention recognize a machine that delivers consistency and comfort without complication. Horsepower output is approximately 78 at the crank depending on model year. Engine displacement is 999 cubic centimeters. Torque output reaches 65 pound-feet. Final drive uses a belt system. Braking consists of front and rear disc brakes, with anti-lock braking system standard. Front suspension is a telescopic fork. Rear suspension uses dual shocks. Wet weight measures approximately 542 pounds. Seat height is 25.6 inches. Fuel capacity is 3.3 gallons. Wheelbase measures 61.5 inches. And manufacturer suggested retail price starts at approximately $9,999 in the United States. Balance and restraint matter, but some riders still want a machine that leans harder into raw mechanical dependability. If this breakdown is already saving you money, support the channel by liking the video, subscribing for future market alerts, and sharing your experience below. Number 5. Yamaha Motor Company Bolt R-Spec. There was a time when a motorcycle earned loyalty by starting every morning and finishing every trip. This machine was built with that old understanding still intact. It does not posture, overpromise, or distract the rider with unnecessary features. Instead, it delivers a solid, familiar experience that feels intentionally restrained. Riders who have spent decades on the road recognize this approach immediately, because it mirrors how motorcycles used to be designed before style cycles began moving faster than engineering. The overall layout feels deliberate. The wheelbase, seating position, and handlebar reach work together instead of fighting each other. Nothing feels stretched or cramped. The bike settles naturally beneath the rider, offering a sense of balance that inspires confidence at low speeds and calm stability at highway pace. That composure matters more with age, when predictability outweighs novelty. This is a motorcycle that feels trustworthy from the first mile. Power delivery reflects the same philosophy. Throttle response is smooth and linear, favoring usable torque over dramatic peaks. It pulls cleanly away from stops and maintains speed without strain. There is no rush to redline and no need to prove anything. The bike simply does what it is asked, which makes it easy to ride for hours without fatigue. Riders who value steady progress over aggressive riding appreciate that character deeply. Comfort remains a quiet strength. The seat height allows easy footing at stops, while the riding posture reduces pressure on joints that have earned some respect over the years. Suspension tuning leans toward compliance rather than stiffness, soaking up rough pavement without transmitting sharp impacts to the rider. Long rides feel manageable, even on roads that are less than perfect. Styling stays true to function. The R-Spec trim keeps things clean and purposeful, avoiding excess chrome or visual clutter. The look is muscular without being exaggerated, and the proportions feel honest. It resembles the kind of motorcycle that ages well because it never chased a trend to begin with. That timeless quality appeals to riders who intend to keep a bike, not replace it. Market attention has drifted elsewhere. Younger buyers often chase technology or extreme performance, leaving machines like this overlooked. That shift says more about trends than about quality. Riders who value reliability and simplicity understand the appeal immediately. This is the type of motorcycle that quietly builds a reputation over time rather than chasing headlines. Horsepower output measures approximately 51 at the crank. Engine displacement is 942 cubic centimeters. Torque output reaches 59 pound-feet. Final drive is belt-driven. Braking consists of a single front disc and single rear disc without anti-lock braking system in standard configuration. Front suspension uses a conventional telescopic fork. Rear suspension consists of dual shocks. Wet weight is approximately 542 pounds. Seat height measures 27.2 inches. Fuel capacity is 3.2 gallons. Wheelbase measures 61.8 inches. And manufacturer suggested retail price begins around $8,499, depending on market availability. The gear and accessories I rely on are linked in the description below. Look now while prices are soft, and let's keep moving through the bikes that are still undervalued. Reliability tells one story, yet another bike on this list proves that intimidation and torque still carry weight. Number 4. Suzuki Boulevard M109-1R. Some motorcycles were never meant to blend in, and this one never tried. It was built during a time when manufacturers still believed intimidation had a place on the street. Long, low, and unapologetically aggressive, it delivers presence before the engine even turns. Riders who came up during the era of big torque and bold styling recognize this attitude immediately because it reflects a mindset that valued dominance over subtlety. The riding experience is defined by mass and authority. This bike does not flick or dart. It plants itself and moves with purpose. Steering input feels deliberate, and once leaned, it holds its line with confidence. That stability becomes reassuring on open highways, where the machine settles into a steady rhythm. It rewards smooth control and patience, favoring riders who understand how to manage weight rather than fight it. Power delivery is the defining trait. Acceleration comes on strong and early, pushing the rider back into the seat with unmistakable force. There is no need to chase high revolutions. The torque does the work, allowing effortless passes and relaxed cruising. This character appeals to riders who appreciate low-end strength more than top-end theatrics. It feels mechanical, direct, and deeply satisfying. Comfort is better than its aggressive appearance suggests. The low seat height allows easy footing, and the forward controls create a relaxed leg position. Long stretches of road feel manageable, especially for riders accustomed to heavyweight cruisers. Suspension tuning favors stability, absorbing imperfections without unsettling the chassis. It may not isolate the rider completely, but it communicates the road honestly, which many experienced riders prefer. Styling remains polarizing, and that is part of its appeal. The wide rear tire, muscular tank, and stretched profile make a statement that has not softened with time. It looks like a machine built to challenge convention rather than follow it. For riders tired of homogenized designs, this bike still feels rebellious. It stands as a reminder of when manufacturers took risks. Market attention has shifted away from machines like this. Trends now favor lighter platforms and modern electronics, leaving this model overlooked. That shift has nothing to do with capability. It reflects changing tastes rather than diminished performance. Riders who understand what this bike offers see value where others see excess. Horsepower. Output is not officially published by the manufacturer. Engine displacement measures 1,783 cubic centimeters. Torque output reaches approximately 118 pound-feet. Final drive is shaft-driven. Braking consists of dual front discs and a single rear disc. With anti-lock braking system, front suspension uses an inverted telescopic fork. Rear suspension consists of a monoshock. Wet weight measures approximately 764 pounds. Seat height is 27.8 inches. Fuel capacity is 5.5 gallons. Wheelbase measures 67.3 inches. And manufacturer suggested retail price is approximately $15,599. After all that brute force, the conversation shifts back toward something stripped, familiar, and deeply traditional. Number 3. Harley-Davidson Softail Std. There was a time when a motorcycle did not need explanation. You looked at it, understood it, and rode it. This machine comes closer to that idea than almost anything still offered new. It strips away distraction and reminds riders why they fell in love with big twins in the first place. No screens begging for attention, no luxury framing, just a clean silhouette and a familiar stance that feels right the moment you sit down. What defines this bike is restraint. It does not pretend to be a touring rig, and it does not chase performance trends. Instead, it delivers a foundation. The riding position is natural. The bars fall easily to hand, and the chassis feels planted without feeling bulky. Riders with decades of experience notice how predictable everything feels. Nothing surprises you, and that is exactly the point. On the road, the character is steady and confident. Throttle response is deliberate, not jumpy. Power builds smoothly, encouraging relaxed cruising rather than aggressive riding. It settles into highway speed without effort and remains composed on secondary roads. This is a motorcycle that invites you to ride your own pace, not someone else's idea of fast. Comfort is understated, but real. The seat height allows easy footing, which matters more with age than many admit. The suspension favors control over softness, absorbing bumps without disconnecting the rider from the road. Long rides feel manageable because nothing is fighting your body. It does not isolate you, but it does not punish you either. The real appeal lies in what this bike represents. It feels like a blank page, something riders used to understand instinctively. You can leave it alone and enjoy its simplicity, or you can shape it into whatever fits your style of riding. That flexibility used to be central to the brand's identity. Here, it still is. Market behavior has worked against it. Showrooms tend to spotlight larger, flashier models loaded with technology and accessories. This one sits quietly, often overlooked, because it does not drive upgrades or extended conversations. That silence has nothing to do with quality. It has everything to do with priorities shifting away from core riders. For those who remember when motorcycles were personal projects as much as transportation, this bike feels familiar. It does not try to replace the past, but it does respect it. Riders who value mechanical honesty over polish recognize that immediately. This is a machine that ages with its owner rather than chasing youth. Horsepower output is not officially published by the manufacturer. Engine displacement measures 1,868 cubic centimeters. Torque output reaches approximately 89 pound-feet. Final drive is belt-driven. Braking consists of front and rear disc brakes with anti-lock braking system. Front suspension uses a telescopic fork. Rear suspension consists of a hidden monoshock. Wet weight measures approximately 655 pounds. Seat height is 27.6 inches. Fuel capacity is 3.5 gallons. Wheelbase measures 63.8 inches. and manufacturer-suggested retail price begins around $16,999 in the United States. Tradition can hold its ground, but one motorcycle here shows how heritage can evolve without losing its center. If you value straight talk about motorcycles before prices change, make sure you are subscribed. This channel exists for riders who plan ahead, respect experience, and want real information before the rest of the market catches on this summer season. Number 2. Triumph Motorcycles Speed Twin 900. There is a certain satisfaction that comes from riding a motorcycle that feels finished, not compromised. This one delivers that feeling from the first mile, blending tradition with just enough modern refinement to matter. It does not chase nostalgia blindly, and it does not abandon it either. Instead, it walks a careful line that experienced riders tend to appreciate more with every passing year. The riding position feels immediately familiar. The bars fall naturally to hand. The pegs are placed where legs expect them to be. And the seat supports without locking the rider into one posture. Long rides feel unforced. Short rides feel complete. That balance is difficult to achieve, yet it defines the experience here. Riders who have owned everything from heavyweight tourers to older Japanese standards recognize the thought behind it. Power delivery favors the middle of the range, where real riding happens. Acceleration feels strong without being abrupt, allowing smooth exits from corners and confident passing without drama. There is no need to wring it out or manage unpredictable surges. The engine responds with consistency, which builds trust over time. That predictability matters when riding becomes less about proving speed and more about enjoying distance. Handling reflects the same philosophy. The chassis feels stable without being slow, responsive without feeling nervous. Turn-in is deliberate, and once settled, the bike tracks cleanly through corners. Suspension tuning prioritizes control and comfort over stiffness, absorbing uneven pavement without dulling feedback. It communicates the road honestly, which experienced riders tend to prefer over artificial isolation. Styling plays a quiet but important role. The design avoids excess, relying on proportion rather than decoration. The tank, seat, and exhaust flow together naturally, giving the bike a timeless appearance. It does not look tied to a single era, which helps it age gracefully. Riders who value understated design often find this approach refreshing in a market crowded with extremes. Ownership appeal goes beyond the ride itself. Maintenance access is straightforward, and overall build quality feels solid. Nothing appears overcomplicated for the sake of novelty. That simplicity encourages long-term ownership rather than frequent replacement. Riders who keep bikes for years recognize the value in that immediately. Market trends have placed this machine in an unusual position. It does not fit neatly into cruiser or sport categories, which leaves it overlooked by buyers chasing labels. That ambiguity works in favor of riders who care more about function than classification. It rewards those willing to look past categories and focus on experience. Horsepower output measures approximately 65 at the crank. Engine displacement is 888 cubic centimeters. Torque output reaches 59 pound-feet. Final drive is chain-driven. Braking consists of dual front discs and a single rear disc with anti-lock braking system. Front suspension uses an inverted fork. Rear suspension consists of twin shocks. Wet weight measures approximately 476 pounds. Seat height is 30.5 inches. Fuel capacity is 3.6 gallons. Wheelbase measures 56.9 inches, and manufacturer suggested retail price starts at approximately $9,995 in the United States. Everything so far leads to a machine that challenged expectations, divided riders, and quietly redefined what performance means today. Number 1. Harley-Davidson Sportster S. There is a moment when tradition collides with reality, and this motorcycle lives inside that moment. It was not built to replace memories, yet it refuses to live in them either. What it offers is a hard look at where American performance is headed, stripped of sentiment, but heavy with intent. Riders who understand evolution recognize that discomfort often arrives before progress feels familiar. The riding position immediately signals change. Feet are set forward but not exaggerated, bars sit wide and assertive. And the seat places the rider lower than expected. The posture feels aggressive compared to older standards, yet it remains controlled. Long rides demand adjustment, but shorter runs feel purposeful and tight. This bike asks for attention, then rewards commitment. Power delivery is the defining conversation. Acceleration is instant, forceful, and unfiltered by nostalgia. Throttle response feels modern in the purest sense, delivering thrust without hesitation. It does not sound like yesterday, and it does not try to. Instead, it pushes forward with authority that leaves no doubt about capability. Riders accustomed to traditional big twins feel the difference immediately. Handling reinforces that separation from the past. The chassis is stiff, responsive, and unapologetically sporty. Turn-in happens quickly, and stability follows through the corner. Suspension tuning favors control over plushness, communicating road texture rather than hiding it. This character suits riders who still value feedback and precision, even if it challenges comfort expectations. Styling has fueled debate since day one. The lines are muscular and compact, with proportions that prioritize function over familiarity. Some see departure, others see honesty. There is little ornamentation, and nothing exists without purpose. It looks engineered rather than styled, which appeals to riders who judge machines by performance instead of nostalgia. Ownership requires a mindset shift. This is not a platform begging for chrome or endless customization. It arrives finished, focused, and self-contained. Maintenance access reflects modern design, and electronics play a larger role than many are used to. For riders willing to adapt, the payoff is performance that feels contemporary and relevant. Market reaction has been divided. Traditional buyers hesitated, uncertain where it fit within heritage expectations. Newer riders saw performance but questioned identity. That hesitation created opportunity for those willing to look beyond noise. History shows that misunderstood machines often find appreciation later, once context catches up. Time will judge this machine fairly, not forums or headlines. Riders who value capability eventually separate noise from substance. That process takes miles, not opinions. When perspective replaces reaction, the design choices begin to make sense, even for those raised on older rhythms and shared memories across generations everywhere. Horsepower output measures approximately 121 at the crank. Engine displacement is 1,252 cubic centimeters. Torque output reaches approximately 94 pound-feet. Final drive is belt-driven. Braking consists of dual front discs and a single rear disc with anti-lock braking system. Front suspension uses an inverted fork. Rear suspension consists of a monoshock. Wet weight measures approximately 502 pounds. Seat height is 29.6 inches. Fuel capacity is 3.1 gallons. Wheelbase measures 59.8 inches. And manufacturer suggested retail price begins around $15,995 in the United States. The road ahead asks whether heritage can evolve without losing soul for riders today, everywhere now. Motorcycles have always rewarded riders who move with timing, not noise. The bikes on this list won't stay overlooked once summer demand wakes up. History proves that every year. If you've owned, ridden, or priced any of these, drop your real-world experience in the comments. Hit like if this saved you money, and subscribe for straight talk before the market moves again.